Sublimate, written by J.M. Tolcher and narrated by the author. For Piggy, the dry season is over. There goes another novel, Honoré de Balzac, After Ejaculation. Ars totum requerit hominum, the art requires the whole person, the old alchemists. The following book was written and edited under certain ejaculatory conditions. While every attempt was made for this book to be self-contained, so that it may be read and enjoyed as an individual work, the narrative does contain some minor references to characters and events in Puff. A note on the psychological definition of sublimation. It started with Sigmund Freud, who claimed that sublimation was the necessary process through which society was maintained. Hermann Hesse wrote to Carl Jung asking about this process of sublimation, and, in his response, Jung attacked Freud, saying that Freud had misappropriated sublimation from the old alchemists, to whom sublimation meant the quest for the philosopher's stone and the creation of gold from the lowest and basest materials. Jung argued that Freud's twisted version of sublimation was nothing but repression, and that Freud gifted this tactic to the bourgeoisie to keep down the common man. Freud's student, Wilhelm Reich, knew this. To distance himself from Freud, he renamed what Freud called eros to his own theory of orgone, declaring that it was libido that governed the universe, and that libido must not be repressed, for it was repression of libido that causes illness and neuroses. It was a perfectly sensible theory with a perfectly sensible antagonist, what Reich called the emotional plague, and diagnosed as authoritarian societies being crushed under the weight of their own armor. And then, I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but Reich seemed to go insane immediately after his perfect diagnosis, as if falling to an invisible enemy. But then, Erich Fromm agreed, stating that it was repressed masochism, neurotic masochism, that gives rise to fascism. And, as an adolescent, I had a sense of all this and thought, well, if I am required to be masochistic, I will be the most masochistic of all, and that will teach me the ways of my sadistic enemies and hopefully free me from them, though it will require seducing them and loving them, and I did not know just how agonizing that would be, and what parts of myself would be left behind. And the more I have learned, the more I think Reich was correct, that the plague we fight can be defeated with authenticity, truth, and rationality. I need not even fight it directly. It is enough to simply live, without repressing those dark parts of myself, but making them sublime. One mystery Wilhelm Reich did note was that, in orgasm, the organism unceasingly attempts to bring together the two embryologically important zones, the mouth and the anus.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?